It's that time of year again, I guess. In the mail today, I got this Wrestlemania 29. Yeah, it's a little postcard thing that Verizon decides to send every year, which is kind of cool. Which means one thing, it's time for WrestleMania predictions. Alright, first match is the pre-show. I honestly don't believe this match should be on the pre-show. I'm actually a little upset about that and the fact that Cesaro doesn't have a match, which is a complete travesty to itself because he's busted his ass as the United States champion. But the pre-show match is for the Intercontinental Championship. Wade Barrett against The Miz. The way they've put this feud together is I believe it started over Wade Barrett having a film coming out and The Miz having a film coming out roughly around the same time, which is why I believe they pulled the trigger on this. I think Wade Barrett needs to drop the belt here simply because of I believe he can do bigger things in the main event. I think he does need that main event push finally after almost 3 years. So I'm going to go with The Miz winning the Intercontinental Championship, which leads us into the actual pay-per-view itself, the pay-per-view extravaganza. Tons of Funk and the Funkadactyls versus the Rhodes Scholars and the Bellas. I believe this should have been on the pre-show, but I can honestly see why it's not on the pre-show, because they want to have, that match right before Rock and Cena, and probably after Punk and Taker, which is like the little quote-unquote bathroom break match. This feud has been crappily put together. I'd like to see the Tons of Funk and the Funkadactyls win, but I believe that the Rhodes Scholars and the Bellas are going to win just because last month at the Elimination Chamber pre-show, Tons of Funk ended up getting the win there. So I think the Rhodes Scholars and the Bellas are going to win this match. Next match that I have listed here is Chris Jericho versus Fandango, or Fandango, or Fandodge Durango, or you know that. This match was kind of put together last minute because they didn't know what to do with Jericho. Believe it or not, Vince McMahon is the reason behind why Fandango is getting this giant push here. He's a big fan. I don't think Jericho will win. I think he's going to give the fans a solid match and something solid that he can give Fandango, like a solid Fandango match, which I don't think is possible, but with Jericho anything's possible. And it'll build on Fandango, and I don't know what Vince McMahon's plans are for Fandango or Johnny Curtis or anything. Next match, Team Hell No versus Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston for the Tag Team Championships. This match is kind of interesting. I don't know if this is the right time to drop the tag team titles, and I don't know if Dolph Ziggler is going to cash in, which is kind of a spoiler alert for later on in these in this video, but I believe Team Hell No will retain here. But I do know that WWE does have big things for Dolph Ziggler and Big E Langston coming out of WrestleMania, which will be kind of interesting. And if anybody has not seen Big E Langston wrestle, I know on Hulu they have NXT. I've seen him wrestle. He's actually pretty good. Next match I have here is Ryback versus Mark Henry. This is probably the match that they're going to get Ryback a WrestleMania moment and give the shell shock to Mark Henry or a bigger opponent. But the way that over the last weekend they were preparing like the WrestleMania run through minus like the big three matches and Sheamus, Orton, The Big Show versus The Shield, which I'll get to. But pretty much people in backstage, they didn't like it. The crowd couldn't get into it. So this is probably going to be another boring match. But I do have Ryback winning just to get his big moment and lifting someone completely huge. And there's a possibility that they're going to give a John Cena Ryback feud right after WrestleMania, which will be interesting. Next match here is Sheamus, Orton, and The Big Show versus The Shield. This match right here would be the perfect time to turn Randy Orton heel, which I believe they might because he wants it really bad, and I think he works a hell of a lot better that way. I do believe the Shield could win via Orton RKOing Sheamus, which was originally supposed to be the World Heavyweight Championship match this year. This was before they had anything planned. But I don't think they're going to do that, and I think they're going to start the Orton heel turn right after WrestleMania. So I think Sheamus, Orton, and The Big Show will finally get over on the Shield. And now going into the World Heavyweight Championship match, which is Jack Swagger versus Alberto Del Rio. I don't like how this has been built up. I don't like the whole Swagger thing and bringing the whole politics and the We the People and the whole Glenn Beck thing was sort of a mess. However, I do see Alberto Del Rio winning here. However, he will not walk out of WrestleMania the World Heavyweight Championship with the World Heavyweight title. I believe that this is the moment where Ziggler finally cashes in and wins. But it all depends on where the matches lie in the card. If the Tag Team Championship match is before the World Heavyweight Championship match, you can see it happen. If not, it will probably happen after WrestleMania. Which leads us into the three main events. First one being Brock Lesnar versus Triple H in a no-holds-barred match. And if Triple H loses, he must retire. I think this will start the second hour of the pay-per-view. I also don't see Brock Lesnar being the one to retire Triple H. I think Triple H will end up winning this match, and then his final match will end up being at WrestleMania 30 next year in New Orleans. So I see Lesnar going to lose this match, and with Triple H winning. next would be Undertaker versus CM Punk. And a match that is perfect this year for The Undertaker, seeing how his last two matches have been completely physical, with the Hell in the Cell match at last year's WrestleMania and the No Holds Barred match at 27. I would have said CM Punk would have won this match. No, if he wasn't taking time off after the pay-per-view. Although the whole mind games thing, I do believe they took it a little bit too far last week with the whole Paul Bearer and the whole Ashes. But I do think Undertaker will win here and then have his final match at WrestleMania 30. Which leads us to the main event, which is probably the most anticipated main event in quite a while, which is The Rock versus John Cena versus the WWE Championship. There's been a lot of talk about Cena possibly turning heel here. I don't see that happening just because of the whole Orton thing, and I honestly don't think that Ryback nor Sheamus could carry the company as a top face. I also don't see Cena turning heel just for the fact that, hell, he hasn't won a WrestleMania main event in in 3 years. He lost at WrestleMania 27 to The Miz because of The Rock. He lost to The Rock last year at WrestleMania. I don't think he'll lose. Sorry about that. Headset went out. I don't think he'll lose a. Yes, again, sorry about that. Headset went out again. I honestly don't see him losing a third WrestleMania main event in a row. I know he's going to get booed out of the building. I know it's good. The crowd's pretty much going to be. It's going to be 95-5 pro Rock, with the 5% being like the 10-year-old kids and all the ladies. But I do see John Cena going over here, getting back the WWE title, which he, believe it or not, hasn't held in almost a year and a half. So Cena will win here. I believe they'll turn Ryback heel, and then have a Ryback Cena feud going into Extreme Rules. I also don't see The Rock winning and holding it till Extreme Rules just because they don't have him booked for any tapings other than the Raw after WrestleMania. So I do see Cena winning here, and these are my predictions. This is not 100% what's going to happen, if at all. Like the video, comment on what you think, subscribe to the channel, and I will talk to you next time.